range of motion reduces significantly, and you are, once if you can balance all this, you are established. Next one. Little beyond biomechanics, if you want to pick another definition, prayatna shitilyam ananta samapatibhyam. Okay, you have to drop that effort once you reach the ultimate. Like force is certainly needed for motion, but when you reach the final position, and it should become so natural that you drop the effort and get established in the state of expansion, and the process introduces a state called transient acclimatization. This is something beautiful yoga. You keep touching this point of transient acclimatization. And the last one is very well known, samatvam. Samatvam yoga muchyate. Balance in what? Balance, once again, if you bring it back to biomechanics, looking at the pairs of opposites. Also, you look at this definition, which is very well known, tatho dvandva anabhigataha. Dvandva are the dualities. As a sports personnel, if you have dualities, you are gone. So now, as part of your body, what are those dualities? It's like muscles, joints, proprioception, and physiological processes. There are three components when you are doing an activity: hypertonic, hypotonic, and eutonic activity. We go through this, and in sports personnel, they are trained to maintain a tone when it is needed as per the requirement. But it's not so easy. Coaches can say 100 things, but as an individual, you know whether it is possible or not to maintain it as when it is needed. But balance, eutony, is what the balance thing we talk about. Of course, you can go to the next word. And most important, today you see in yoga, advanced yoga, and people are fascinated by advanced yoga postures. They all look at two aspects. One is you are strengthening your arms, strengthening your lower limbs, and the core. Core is very important, and core strengthening plays as a fundamental plays the fundamental role. But there are lots of things concerned with your lower limb strengthening, which yoga can do in a precise manner when you customize it. Next one. One technique I want to bring here is Surya Namaskar, because it is the most ideal practice. If any athlete has no time to practice asanas or any other thing, please give them Surya Namaskar as a practice, and they can remain in a position of their choice which can suit their sport, picking from Surya Namaskar. You don't need to do all the practice. Okay, my sport demands me to do a little bit of a forward stretch. Okay, then I can pick that particular asana from Surya Namaskar and then remain there. Next one. Just I'm going to acknowledge a couple of collaborators here. We are very privileged to work with many of the people already, because of whom we have so confidently we can say that yoga is highly beneficial in sports medicine and rehab. One of that is our Samskar Dham in Gujarat, which is the Vijay Bharat Sports Academy. We have the team here from there. I had an opportunity to go and visit their infrastructure, amazing, and this is where we were discussing based on some studies which we had done earlier. Next one, which talks about whatever they were doing there when we visited. We look at the scientific evidence. We have fantastic evidence to say whether deadlift can be optimized through the practice of yoga. Next one. Whether you can actually give that edge. Yesterday, many were talking about that split second. Can yoga do that? Can yoga give you that split second benefit? I would say very proudly, yes. And what can be most essential there? Pranayama, breathing. And next one. And we know reaction time. The studies have demonstrated that it can work significantly based on various dimensions. Next. And a very important tool for sportsmen is attention. One such technique, Trataka is being spoken by everybody, but every yoga practice makes you do Trataka. Either open eyes or closed eyes. Next. We have the concept taken from Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It takes your mind from one level to the other. Random thinking to highly focused and defocused state. Chanchalata, Ekagrata, Dharana and Dhyana. If you can pick this concept, any sportsman can excel without any hesitation. We have worked with the shooting team who have demonstrated themselves that they could perform better after the practice of Trataka. We have done some scientific studies on this, looking at what happens to your brain, particularly when you are going through these different phases. For sure, not only S-VYASA studies across the world, we have a little more than 40 functional MRI studies demonstrating that whichever meditation technique you use, whichever pranayama you do, it activates that part of the brain which regulates your attentional processes. Frontal lobe is highly ignited, activated. Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, anterior cingulate, and the parts of limbic system, particularly your hippocampus, are involved invariably when you do these practices, which are all needed for maintaining your attention at any given point of time. Next one. This is a comparison. Some people say that, okay, I do a lot of focusing, but I'm not getting the results. I do say that Guruji said that yesterday, you are going into dharana, you are not going into dhyana. Actually, after dhyana, you have to touch upon that samadhi, then you really enjoy the process. Next. So we have lots of those studies which can talk about the benefits, particularly bringing all of them together, which can improve various dimensions. Next one. So the last part of my talk is on just give a glimpse of rehabilitation. We know that rehab is very important. Your performance is good, everything is fantastic, but at times something won't work with you. You have an injury, what to do? So conventional rehabilitation is excellent, it is working. But if you can bring in integrative rehabilitation, it can do marvels. So that's what I'm mentioning over here. You integrate various streams of medicine which are evidence-based. Integrative rehab aims are to promote innate healing, improving functional capacity, inducing mental relaxation, emotional stability, and improving quality of life. Next one. So we also bring in various dimensions. Many times, either musculoskeletal or neurological. These are the two things which affects individual, and both have seen significant benefits. We bring in various systems here, like you can see modern medicine. We have renowned orthopedic surgeons here. We have such personality, physiatrists here who have worked. But along with that, when you bring the components and principles of Ayurveda, expert sitting here as our chairperson today, you can bring in yoga therapy, naturopathy, acupuncture, physiotherapy, behavioral therapy. Okay, it is, you might ask, what behavioral therapy you want to give it to sports personnel? They are all hale and healthy. They are not sick patients or anything, but you don't know how their behavior get affected the day they have an injury. And of course, you can also help them. Sometimes there is an injury, they have a difficulty in sensory identification. Remodeling is needed. Of course, along with, if there is serious injury, quick way to come back is also use robotics. Don't hesitate. Next one. Of course, we can do it in multiple ways. Many sports personalities are here. You use either two things like warm-up or cooling. In both the cases, you can use yoga and yoga therapy. You can customize injury-specific protocols. Mental resilience is what is most important. And you can do that specific training, and team yoga sessions are very essential. This is just, I'm flashing how people have overcome, they have helped themselves. Next. This is the Indian team which won the 1998 gold in Asian Games. Khanna Saab is here. Privileged to have you, sir. He was there in Sports Authority of India. I had the privilege of being with this team, with Dhanraj Pillai and team, we did lots of sessions, and this was an amazing experience. Can you believe this happened after 23 years? Before this, 23 years, we had no gold medal, and this team achieved. I'm not taking all the credit to yoga, but I do say that there is an impact which yoga has made. Next. Swimming, we have worked with Indian swimming team. We have done some clinical trials, apart from working with elite swimmers, which has demonstrated that you can certainly benefit, help them in a significant way. Kumbhaka. Yesterday, Dr. Raghavendra Rao was mentioning how Michael Phelps has become a better person compared to others, because he knew how to get into water and remain in water for a longer time than stay outside. To remain in water, you know breath holding. You should know breath holding. You should know how to maneuver your breathing. Next. This is, I just put this picture for Dr. Kato. Had the opportunity of working with the rugby team of Toyo University. You see Dr. Kato also giving instructions there below. Amazing experience, because their body is so hefty and they are so, it's all so tight, etc. They come like this, okay, like bouncers. I got worried when they came there, and finally it was fantastic. They asked me, we do yoga, we will try and do yoga, everything is fine, but one thing you tell us, in the field, how do I manage? I said, don't do anything, you just take a deep breath and do. Last one. Okay, next. Yeah, this is for your information. You can flash these slides and you can end it. This is the man who has transformed into yoga. He has yoga studios for you. Okay, so LeBron James, Djokovic undergone severe problems. He is hardened yoga practitioner. Next. Serena Williams, once again, she runs chain of yoga studios and she loves specific practices. Next one. Our own Virat Kohli. Of course, I tried picking the information. Every cricketer does yoga. Then I thought somebody whom I admire also, apart from Sachin Tendulkar, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, I thought I'll put him next, and he comes from RCB. Okay. Then we have American football players last are these legends. Okay, Cristiano Ronaldo and David Beckham. What more do you want? Of course, you need proof, you need scientific evidence, but living legends are telling you, yoga has helped me. And you can go and just pick those lessons from them. Just go sit, note down what they did. That can become a protocol for you. So I always end by saying that most important is we all try bending the body. But before doing that, mend your mind. Sharpen your mind. Then bend your body. It just happens like that. Okay? I think the last slide. Okay. So I wanted to conclude giving this success mantra. To be successful, you have to be physically strong, mentally relaxed, yet focused, emotionally balanced, intellectually powerful, and spiritually evolved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Manjunath. It was very exciting to hear you bridging your practices with the evidences, and you're a walking encyclopedia itself. It's such a joy to hear you all the time. But can we take some questions from the audience, please?
Morning, sir. So it was such an inspirational and informative seminar presentation. So my query is, as a yoga and naturopathy students and graduates, how can we set our career in the field of sports medicine?
This conference was open your eyes that there's a great career in sports medicine, and rehabilitation. Otherwise, we were thinking that that's a totally different segment. It's not meant for yoga and naturopaths and etc. You can, we are coining new terminologies now. Yoga and naturopathy sports coach, you can become. Now, yoga sports coach, you can become. Yoga lifestyle coach for sports personnel, you can become. See, as on today, definitions are also made by somebody. Today, I believe we have to make new definitions. Nobody will make it for us. And we can, there's a great scope, there's an amazing opportunity in this field because it is coming up fast. I mean, no other activity is growing much faster than this. I have not touched upon hydrotherapy, mud therapy, and nutrition. She, of course, our chairperson is an expert in that. There are so many things you can draw from naturopathy. Each one of them can make you a coach. Hydrotherapy itself is sufficient. You can specialize in that and you can really get sports personnel coming to you only for hydratic training. So that way I see huge opportunity and we can discuss subsequently.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Dr. Manjunath. Dr. Manjunath is a multifaceted personality who has contributed a lot in the field of yoga and naturopathic research. All of you have understood the way in which he presented authentically. And he has covered most of the areas. In particular, the main objective of the sports medicine, optimum sports performance, sports injuries and rehabilitation. These are the three major areas and its management through yoga technique. Not only through yoga and also through integrative approach. And the preparing sports people physically, mentally and emotionally. But I wanted to add spiritually also because every sportsman should have the spirit of accepting defeat first. And accepting failure and defeat is a very difficult task. But finally, in the conclusion, he made it amply clear that even spiritual quotient is very, very important in the management of sports medicine. And he made very clearly the factors contributing the mental health issues in sports personnel and the solution through yogic practices, asanas, pranayama, finally becoming one with body and mind. And the basic concept of yoga that need to be applied in sports medicine, which is again Guruji's contribution, stimulate and relax. Layet sambhodayet chittam vikshiptam shamayet punaha sakashayam vijaniyat samapraptam na chalayet. It is very nice. And detox, energize, optimize. It is a very good punctual. And also he has made very clear performance and comparative performance. Actually, this is the area where people, the success and the failure depends upon. Always you accept both, you will be successful. He has made it wonderfully clear. And the factors influencing the performance and how to overcome that through breathing and other techniques has been made amply clear. He has touched the area of biomechanics, of yogasanas, joint movements of bones, and muscle activation pattern, and also touched beyond biomechanics. And finally, he has given the path on scientific basis how to reach samatva in reaching the success and how the focus is very important in sports. Chanchalata, ekagrata, dharana and dhyana, and activating every point of brain through proper pranayama, that is breath regulation technique. And for all these, only option is integrative approach. This has been presented excellently well. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I request the team to introduce Dr. Tyagarajan?
Introduction required.
Some glitches as always, so can we have the team?
Dr. K.A. Tyagarajan is a distinguished sports medicine professor, senior consultant, and research guide at Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute, Chennai. Holding an MBBS, diploma in physical medicine and rehabilitation, and MD in sports medicine, he is renowned for his expertise in arthroscopy and sports science. With a teaching experience spanning 17 years, he has been a key contributor to various academic and research activities. Dr. Tyagarajan has significantly contributed to sports medicine, publishing numerous research papers and participating in various international conferences. His administrative roles include heading the Department of Arthroscopy and Sports Medicine and actively engaging in quality assurance, accreditation process, and international collaborations. As an accomplished professional, he has received several accreditations from prestigious organizations and served as the team doctor for Chennai FC football team during 2018-19 ISL season.
Thank you very much for the very liberal introduction. Friends, we all know that sitting is the new smoking. Can we all stand up for a minute? Whoever can. I think you will love me for this. So you get some good blood flowing. Thank you very much. Because as speakers, we get the chance to stand. You don't get the chance. Please be seated. Thank you very much. And that's a good stretch also. You got a good opportunity. Sitting more than 2 hours continuously is considered as equal as a bad effect of smoking a pack of cigarettes. Brothers and sisters, this is sports science, sports medicine for you, for working towards the health and wellness of athletes and general persons. And thank you very much for S-VYASA for having me here, this August audience. I thank the Guruji, our Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, directors, senior officials, and my chairpersons, co-speakers, audience, and as the great Vivekananda ji said, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much and very good morning. And continuing on the talk, I'm supposed to be the last batsman of the keynote. So last batsman always has to hit a lot of runs under a very limited period of time. I can see only 25 minutes instead of 40 minutes. I'll try to hit the balls faster. And because I come from the land of Chennai Super Kings. I not only work with Chennai FC, we also work with Chennai Super Kings. So we know one or two things about hitting the last ball for a sixer. Thank you. And yes, I come from this prestigious institution, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Sciences, which has the wonderful sports science center, which I'm very privileged to be there and working and right now leading the center also. And many of us probably would have visited here. It is first of its kind center which has been accredited by organizations like International Cricket Council and FIFA's AFC, and the list goes on. The credit goes to the university management. Coming to the presentation, to show here or here? Okay, sports, we all love it, no? There are so many legends, and it gives us immense pleasure and gratification to see our sportsmen and our country doing well. And if we see the topmost countries, so-called developed countries, always do well in sports. That is why the government of India now has a vision for making India as a superpower in sports, because economy and sports generally seem to go hand in hand. Not only economy, the nation's well-being, the individual health and overall productivity, quality of life, all these are byproducts of sports and exercise. So that is why we are all here today. And the list of legends, and probably this moment catapulted the Indian sports history to greater heights and inspired us a lot, because we felt that we can also beat the world. Of course, in hockey we were beating the world, but when it comes to cricket, which had a wider audience, we thought, okay, we can beat the world. So Paji, Kapil Dev, team, they gave us the confidence, and it was well carried out by the other cricketers also, like RCB and Chennai Super Kings also. So individual excellence, and people are keeping us inspired through individual excellence across all ages and all social backgrounds. And you know the history behind this man, Sable, who single-handedly pushed back the Kenyans, long history, and bringing the Indian sprinting to the fore. So there are a lot of inspirations to be taken from sports to the common public. But we are going to talk about sports rehabilitation today. So the latest trends, that is what the subject has been given to me. I wish to just break it into 10 commandments, simple commandments, like technology in sports. I'll open it from my laptop so I don't get neck pain. Biomechanics and performance analysis, and preventive measures. Prevention is better than cure, right? And then there are regenerative therapies and rehabilitation of specific injuries. Collaboration and multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary nature of sports rehabilitation is on another latest trend. And post-surgical rehabilitation protocols have been established, and they have been constantly updated. So that is also a latest trend. And monitoring and then evaluation of these rehab programs, how effective they are, and research on this is also gaining concept. And then there are some current challenges and then future directions. So to sum it up, I would like to show some case histories and success stories, because we all want to feel positive. So under these points, under each point, I would like to talk to you about a couple of minutes each. So incorporating technology into sports rehabilitation. So we all are in the world of technology now. In one hand we have this, and another hand we have this, and we have gadgets all over our bodies and life. So technology has definitely invaded sports, which requires a sophisticated also. So Dr. Kato had beautifully explained the yoga biomechanics study they are doing, and Dr. Manjunath also had explained beautifully about how technology is transforming the research, especially in sports, especially in yoga and sports. So wearable technologies, virtual realities, augmented realities, machine learning, Internet of Things, we are all here. And I think we are in for a huge revolution, and sports cannot lag behind. As professionals, we need to imbibe these technologies and translate these technologies into the success of the sportsman, and also employ this into sports rehabilitation. The second point is a very interesting point, biomechanics and performance analysis. So So we have a lot of institutions here which have been coming up with biomechanics facilities. We have a couple in, or two, three more in Tamil Nadu, and many centers are also coming up. So what we can do in biomechanics is threefold. We can do motion analysis, and we can do assessments for injury prevention, as well as performance optimization and performance improvement using this technique. So we do a bit of work because we are blessed with a very good biomechanics lab, and ours is a ICC accredited biomechanics lab, just like my friend Mark King, who has a beautiful facility back in Labro University. We have been now collaborating also of late. So cricket injury prevention, cricket performance enhancement, how to prevent the back injuries of the bowlers, fast bowlers, is a constant concern and a current concept of work. So we have a lab where batters and bowlers can be simultaneously assist, and that's a new trend which is going to come up. Not only for cricket, we do for other sports also, like tennis, where there are constant or uniform movements like a tennis serve we can do. And running is the mother of sports, we'll have to do. Ball biomechanics, in-step kick is the one we are currently doing research, how it can improve the accuracy and the power of kick. So rowing is another sports which we do biomechanic analysis, which can be improved. Hockey is our national pride, so we cannot leave it behind, and we are doing some research on drag flicks or heat, which is how to refine those techniques. Is one of our PhD scholars, he is doing a study on hockey biomechanics. Drag flick, we are doing research on that. So the possibilities are endless in prevention of injuries and performance optimization or performance enhancement using techniques of biomechanics. What are the other methods of prevention? What are the other strategies? So we can do screening protocols for early detection or strategies to reduce injuries and things like rehabilitation. So I'll just go through a few slides about injury prevention. Why it's important? Because loss of a lot of time, money, energy, and time spent in rehab, because there is also increased return, increased pressure on return to play. So it impacts the quality of life, and athlete becomes very insecure. So that is why we need to prevent injuries in the first place rather than having the injuries and treating them. So age biomechanics complaints to the injury prevention program, the amount of work we do for rehab, and the feedback that we get, and the varieties of exercises, all these things decide the effectiveness and success of our injury prevention programs. There are some good injury prevention programs like developed by FIFA, like FIFA 11, or some other hamstring protocols are there. Some game-specific protocols are there. So it is sports science specialists are developing injury prevention strategies. One of the most famous programs are FIFA 11. We all know what it is. And it includes pre-participation screening, which is very important for injury prevention. It can prevent even cardiac deaths on the field, and musculoskeletal injuries can also be prevented. So there are other aspects like we need to look into nutrition, hydration, the training loads, and whether surgical intervention has been done and proper rehab has been done, and proper rehab protocols followed by return to sports. All these things make an impact when it comes to injury prevention. Regenerative medicine, and we all know a lot of new things have come, a lot of new injections techniques like the platelet-rich plasma therapy, and we have a lot of other techniques also. This is an evolving field. A judicious use of these intervention techniques, regenerative medicines, are going to help the athletes, especially in sports rehabilitation. Currently, the PRP looks very promising. We have been using it extensively, but still a lot of more research has to come before we say a final word on certain conditions. Rehab after specific injuries is point number 5. So we all know that ACL is the most commonly visible injury pattern, but it's not a very common injury, but it debilitates the athlete to a greater extent. So that is why it has become very famous, the ACL injuries. And concussion is another injury which is gaining focus now, and we have a lot of protocols in football and cricket for concussion. And rehab of the athletes who are concussed are also very important. Talking about injuries, sports and injuries are go hand in hand. It is almost inevitable. Almost 80% of the elite athletes, they experience injuries at any point of time, and our goal is to return them to the track. So sports injuries, what is the reason why they come, where they come, and how we prevent it? What is the role of biomechanics? What is our goal? How we set the goal and how we achieve the goal is the point here in sports injury. I have some theoretical slides about the nature of sports injuries. For the want of time, I'll just rush through. We all know the sports injuries come due to various factors because of direct or indirect, and there are some common injuries as highlighted in the picture, and there are some external risk factors, internal risk factors. There are some modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. So we need to take cognizance of all these factors. And we have to look at the data also about which sports has what injuries common in there, and so that we can be prepared. Because in certain countries, some sports are very popular. So we may have to allocate and focus our resources on the particular injuries. So data is also important. So again, pictorial representation of different sports injuries. We all know lower extremities are very common, with thigh, knee, and ankle injuries forming the core of the lower extremity injuries. And stats about the thigh injuries that we very oftenly see. ACL and meniscal tears are the most common injuries, along with condyle defects. Ankle and foot injuries are also very common, like sprains, fractures, and torn ligaments. So almost 10 to 23% of all injuries they come around foot and ankle. Groin injuries are again now taken very seriously. It's a very gray area, in fact. It has to be very focused because the cause may be multifocal and the area affected also may be very different. So stress fractures of the lower limbs, again we have a lot in sports. So there is a method of stress fractures. Tendinopathies are again very common, the chronic overuse injuries which can come and which can be very disabling. So these are the spectrum of injuries that we get in sports. And of course, along with sports concussion. Concussion is a head injury with a different type of presentation. They may just feel dazed or headache or some simple symptoms they might have. It might miss the attention of the coaches or the managers or other co-players. But as a sports professional, we have to identify and manage it properly. Otherwise, the athlete might have a long-standing disability. So these are some of the symptoms and this way of management of concussion. Right, progression. Yeah, this is the way of management of concussions. We have a evaluation protocol, and then if required, we refer them to the hospitals. So next point, the sixth point is how we collaborate as different personalities in sports rehabilitation. So between the coaches and administrators and players and various professionals, now including all the yoga professionals, and how we can collaborate. This is the question. Actually, we call it as an umbrella, the sports medicine concept. So under the umbrella, we are all there. How we can collaborate is the big question. put this small short video clip just to show is one of the fastest pit stop changes, less than 2 seconds. The tires were changed, the fuel was done, and a lot of things were done by a team of experienced, sophisticated professionals and equipment. Sports rehabilitation, something like that. We have to work in tandem and we have to return our athlete, the F1 car, to the track as soon as possible. So that is why I just put the F1 race pit stop small video. I had my own team of physios, trainers, and other professionals. I had the pleasure of working with them, and I learned a lot from them because you learn quite a lot from each other. Uh, yeah, I have a team of people from abroad and other universities. We learn a lot from them, and we learn how to work together. The nutritionist, the strength conditioning professional, physios, and etc. We have. Post-surgical rehab is another concept which is focused now as a latest trend of rehabilitation. We have to manage the athletes on a case basis, giving them individual care. And yes, yes, we have protocols and we have monitoring also, like starting from basic exercises to advanced exercises to return to sports. And we chart them also to see the gray areas, the expected timeline for recovery. Sometimes people can fall back or sometimes they can accelerate also. But the protocol has to be there, but protocols have to be specifically monitored and tailored to the athlete's need also. To successful return to play, there are various factors that influence, like proper management and proper rehab. For proprioception training, we have heard about core training and lower limb, upper limb strengthening from Manjunath sir, and including biomechanical analysis into that, and a set of high performance assessments, and allowing athletes gradually returning to play is the mantra here. So we do a lot of arthroscopic surgeries in our department, and post that, how we do rehabilitate them is a methodical approach. We have athletes, young athletes, national, international athletes. So using various techniques, including the hydrostatic therapies that Dr. Manjunath mentioned. So we use all possible methods and modes of rehab. So this is 1 year post-op of the knee surgery. The athlete goes back and wins the medal, and that gives us the highest satisfaction. The monitoring of the rehab program we have to do. Whatever is not measured is not going to work. So we have athletic monitoring systems now, web-based or app-based. So they enable us to interact with each other, and then we can have a lot of things done here because it's a single platform for health and wellness monitoring, injury reporting, monitoring, training program, as well as intercommunication between all the professionals. So this is a trending latest rehab method. So we can do either basic sports science or elite advanced sports science assessments and monitoring. We can store the data on the cloud and use the data extraction and data science for our research. So the athlete will have a home screen in the app, as well as we will have the other home screens also for the administrators, coaches. Progress through the slides. These are some of the screenshots of the athletic monitoring system, which can do a lot of things for us. There is a team dashboard, which can give you a lot of details at one glance. And if you want to look at the individual athlete, we can get his full profile about his readiness, his injury risk, wellness parameters like how they eat, sleep, whether they use mobile phones too long a period. All these things can be monitored also. And the injuries can be reported and managed properly and documented also, which is wanted thing in India. Most importantly, we can communicate with each other for effective rehab. It's a fascinating tool, and I think all sports organizations should make use of this kind of digital athlete monitoring systems. Progress to the next slide, please. I am having a difficulty with this. Yeah, training scores. Yeah. Now coming to the ninth point, current challenges and future directions. Next slide, please. So we have a lot of challenges regarding time, facilities, the psychology of the athlete, the re-injury aspects, and clearance for sports, and some litigation issue also when it comes to rehab. Next slide, please. So for time, it depends on the injury or the graft we choose for operation and the rehab methods we use. Next slide. Psychology-wise, we have spoken a lot about the anxiety, depression, and other problems of athletes, especially the injured athletes, and how they undergo the PTSD and other things. So it has to be borne in mind. This is also a challenge. Next slide. Re-injuries is always a risk, but it can be mitigated or reduced using various techniques, including sensory processing or improving motor control. Next slide. Clearance of the athlete for playing sports is a main question, because the athletes will invariably ask, when can I start playing? So we have to have a methodical way of giving clearance, including a combination of lab-based as well as field-based tests. Next slide, please. So we have a system of lab-based and field-based tests, including metabolic analyzers and ergometers. Next slide, please. Including this isokinetic dynamometer assessment. Next slide. This sort of simple field-based tests also can give very vital information for us to allow the athlete to return to sports. Next slide. Litigation is nowadays becoming common in India also. It was thought it was only there in Western or abroad. So we have to be very careful about what we do, and we have to document everything, and we have to try to follow scientific protocols. Next slide. Failing which, otherwise we will have to probably spend the entire money that you have earned in your life. Next slide. So some success stories to end with a sweet note. Next slide. So we had some cases of challenging cases of adolescent athletes wherein surgery was itself difficult. Next slide. This is the one particular case. Yeah, you can keep progressing. ACL and PCL tear with a child. We did a surgery. We took a graft from the father, two grafts from the father, because the child grafts were not developed. Next slide. The proper return to play assessment and the return to play training. And 2 years post-op, the athlete returned to sport and won the games also for us. Next slide. Progress. Next. So Dinesh is another case where he came with a severe wrist pain, and we just had an injection, ultrasound guided injection into a accurate area, and was very successful. And next day itself, he went back and he scored a century. So mindset is very great. So these are some great things you can take for my own story as a Chennai FC's doctor. Next slide, please. So I had a pleasure of traveling with Chennai FC. When they came to us 2018, 2017 season, they were the lowest placed team in the table, and they had the highest number of injuries. And then the team management decided, okay, we have to tie up with the sports science and sports medicine team. That's how they came. And then slide progression, please. Next slide. So I had the beautiful opportunity of interacting. Yeah, you can keep progressing the athletes, but I found that my name was always down, whereas in hospital my name will be always on top. But sports doctor name will be always down. It was funny to me, but still I learned that coach is the king and then the players is the king. Then it is not, last is not the least. They reserve the best for the last, I learned. Okay, fine. Then I did my job and assessment and prepared myself. And next slide. And prepared the sports bag and traveled with the athletes, and also took care of the families of the athletes. So it is not only enough, a lot of traveling was involved. Next slide. So it was a new experience, and we had to pack all the medicines and other things. We had to fix up the hotels which had the best facilities. We had to do things which the time travel also we have to consider. We have to examine the grounds, whether they are injury prone. We have to examine the medical rooms, and we had to examine all the facilities, medications, including the AEDs are there or not, and the electrolytes, whether we have sufficient stock when we are traveling abroad, the protein supplements, and watch the athletes training. Then we'll see whether they are injured or not, whether they are prone to get injured. Use technologies like GPS trackers, and then also monitor their urine for their osmolality, for their hydration and nutrition, and yes, hydration and recovery also we established. And it's all was possible because of a team effort. Next slide. And also opposition, this was the Pune opposition, which is a very rough team. They will make a lot of injuries to the opposite team. So whenever we met the Pune team, we always went with extra physios, extra tapes and all these things. So, and midnight I was in Kolkata, in Apollo Hospital, buying some medicines for an athlete. So it was all an experience, but the same year, we defeated Bengaluru and lifted the cup. Bengaluru was the top team. Still it is a top team. But Chennai, the lowest placed team, Bengaluru was the topest. So beating Bengaluru in Bengaluru and lifting the cup with my players, I had my nirvana that day. So it's a very gratification feeling. So Dr. Manjunath has some strong observations, I guess. Yeah, please hold it. Dr.
It's a very
Manjunath
good
has some-
sign. I learned something from you. So in cricket, it's the opposite. So Chennai Super Kings is on top and RCB in the end. So probably the reverse is going to happen sometime.
As I said, last need not be the least. Last may be the best also. RCB still I feel that is the best team. Only thing, somehow the fate is having that it's not lifting the cup. Chennai will have always an ordinary team, but an extraordinary captain. They end up. Can you just go back one slide and play that video of, audio also, please. No, that video. So this is our center. Loud volume, please. That's the institution that I come from. Thank you very much. We plan to bring more Olympic medals for our country and also try to make India as a better sporting and powerful nation. We have a beautiful MOU lined up with S-VYASA for biomechanics and other sports science and yoga. Hope we get to do some good quality work. Also with now a tie-up with Labro is also on the cards. So we can have multicentric beautiful studies coming up. And I have a lot more other slides also, but for want of time, I think I'll close before the chairpersons shut my mouth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagarajan, for captivating us and keeping us quite engaged with your humor and humility. But we Bangaloreans are very hospitable and humble too.
I know.
So I have a question, if I may take the first question, please. When will we see the sports science team, including sports dietitian, as a part of a team which travels and with cricket? I was chosen to travel with Delhi Capitals. I've been chosen to also work with the RCB. And but however, due to my challenges of leaving a full-time faculty job, I was committed to board exams for children, and I couldn't take that, though I was selected to travel. But when can we see sports dietitians being a part of the team, which is not the norm here yet?
It's an excellent thought-provoking question. I would expand that question to not only dietitians, the entire sports medicine team, like sports psychologists,
Yes, absolutely.
sports doctor. An ideal team should travel with all full-fledged sports science team. There are two facets to it. One is availability of such qualified staff, and then there are budgetary and administrative things. So there are some impediments, but things are becoming better. And the team, Chennai FC, where we won the cups, we had dietitian on our team.
Lovely. Happy to hear.
Thank you. It has
Thank
been
you,
a
sir.
wonderful presentation and interaction by Professor Tyagarajan with all of us from Ramchandra Medical College, Chennai. So nice of you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it has been worth noting here that he has made every one of us to develop an awareness that sitting is equivalent to smoking. And he made all of us to stand and get better circulation within 5 seconds. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And he has made wonderful points here. Latest trends in sports rehabilitation, which need to be underlined, and has shown us the legendary sports personnel and inspired every one of us. And he has brought out 10 important points for sports rehabilitation and shown us the success stories and the real science of sports medicine behind it, and different sports biomechanics. There are multiple sports here, but each sports has their own biomechanics, and within the shortest span of time, he was able to show us how this biomechanics plays an important role in different sports, and the prevention of injuries and the rehabilitation. That is very important. How we can prevent the sports injuries well in advance and engaging ourselves to win the medals. And these principles of injury prevention, that is one of the major aspects for all of our youngsters, how we can prevent it. And the entire dimension of sports medicine, regenerative medicine, and rehabilitation for specific injuries. It is really wonderful, sir. And stress fractures, then tendinopathy, concussion, these play a very important role in making sportsmen to discontinue their profession. And he has amply expressed it. And to manage these things, multidisciplinary or pluralistic or integrative approach is the most requirement, and it is inevitable. And the post-surgical rehabilitation and athletic monitoring system, that is one of the most important aspects. And wellness parameters has also been brought to the limelight, and team wellness scores. When we play, the success story lies with especially the sports where the multiple people join. That scoring is very, very important. And the challenges in sports rehabilitation, re-injuries, how you can prevent it and make people to again enter into the sports back, what is called as clearance for participation, and litigation aspects today which is emerging. And finally, the importance of diet and diet management, which is the interest of our co-chairperson also today. And sir, it has been an excellent presentation. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's a comprehensive and complete summary of the presentation. Probably you have put it in a nutshell. And also, my invitation is open for a beautiful conference that we are conducting at this end of this month, 18th, 19th, and 20th at Chennai, the Sports Medicine and Sports Science Conclave. I'll send out the invitations to all of you. And also, probably next year, we might have an Asian Sports Medicine Congress also in our center coming up. We have bid for that also. So I'll kindly extend my warm welcome and invitations to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. And my final remark is Professor Chico Cato, Dr. Manjunath N.K., Tyagarajan Alvar, all the three have done real justice to this platform. this august platform. No seats are vacant here. And I am sure that all of you have relished and lot of information with regard to sports rehabilitation strategies has entered into our mind and we remember it forever. Thank you very much, all the three speakers and my co-chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I think this was one of the most enjoyable plenary sessions we've ever had. It was amazing, vibrant, sense of humor. Very nice it was. It's time to felicitate our keynote speakers for today. I request our chairpersons, Dr. Ramakrishna and Professor Geeta, to please be on stage to felicitate our speakers for today. We would love to felicitate Professor Chico Cato. Professor Chico Cato, Dr. N.K. Manjunath Sharma, Dr. Tyagarajan, let's give a big round of applause. I request our Guruji, Dr. H.R. Nagendra, to please join us on stage to felicitate the chairpersons for today, who were very, very interactive throughout the session. I request Guruji to felicitate Dr. B.R. Ramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, S-VYASA. Also felicitate Ms. Geeta, who has been so active from the start of pre-conference. We don't feel Ms. Geeta as an external person now. She is well part of S-VYASA. Have a group photo of them. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the wonderful session. So we'll have the schedule shown there for the day today. And I also request our delegates to not follow the schedule which is there in your conference kits. There are some changes in that. Yesterday we had a mishap with that. So sharp 11:30, we would be beginning the sessions in 3 parallel venues. There would not be any delay in time. After your tea break, please assemble for the symposia, which would be happening parallelly at 3 venues. We would be having the theme, Functional Rehabilitation Present Strategies in Samskruti Bhavan, this venue at 11:30. And the theme in Shruti Mandir would be Healing the Mind Post-Injury. And the 3rd parallel session, it would be Rehabilitation Strategies and Planning at Santosha Hall. 11:30, the parallel sessions would be going on. And post-lunch sessions, there would be oral presentations in the venue Santosha Hall and oral symposia happening at Shruti Mandir at 2 o'clock. 2:15, we would be